Hi everyone, it's Dash of Dave here again for another video. So this time I'm going to show you how to make this. So this just looks like an envelope, okay, or an envelope depending on who you are and how you speak. But it actually, so this has got a little wax seal on it that's only stuck to one side so you can open it. This actually just opens up into a sheet of paper. So kind of the way that they would have written before envelopes were invented. They would have written on here and like written their script, and then they would have folded it up and then put it through the post in that way. Okay, so we're going to make this together. Okay, so what you're going to need is you're going to need a rectangle piece of paper. Now it could be an A4 sheet of paper, or because I'm in the UK, or an 8.5 by 11. I don't know what your measurement is, but as long as it's rectangular, it doesn't really matter. Okay. But the longer it is that you start with, the longer it will be when you finish. So some will end up being like more traditional envelope styles, some will be longer depending on what you start with. But the first thing you want to do is decide what side of paper you want to have in the middle, so the bit inside, okay, and then fold it over, so have it horizontally, okay, and then fold it horizontally, so lengthways or lengthwise, again depending on who you are and where you are from. So fold it that way, and then this is really going to be challenging, turn it around and fold it the other way. Okay, this is really easy to make. It looks complicated, it looks like, oh, you'll never get it, and it's easier than you think. Okay, so once you've done that, turn it back to being lengthways or horizontal. Okay, and now you want to fold this bit up. You want to fold it so it's approximately 1.5 inches. It doesn't have to be that. It depends on how much. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to fold it so that it's about 1/4 of the way up the page. Yeah, so you're going to have another quarter, another quarter, another quarter, so 3/4 roughly. So you're going to have it about 1/4 of the way up the page, and you're going to fold it. Yeah, and then you're going to turn it around and you're going to put the same, sorry, no, you're not going to turn it around, sorry. What you're going to do then is you're going to fold this up, so this corner up, so that it meets that folded line that you've just created. So this piece of paper, you're going to fold this corner up till it meets this edge, so you create a right angle. Yeah, so it goes along there, along that folded edge and down. And then the same on this side, you're going to do the same here. Again, fold it up to meet that edge and put a fold in it. Okay, that's it. And then you're going to turn it around and you're going to fold up and use this edge of the triangle to be your guide to where you want to put your next fold in. So you should have a nice point at this corner. Should all marry up nicely, so you should get a nice right angle here and a nice edge there. But just the neater that you do it now, the neater it will look when it's done. Okay, and again on this corner, so again folding it up, okay, so that this corner here is a point, so not a blunted point. So I don't really can see that's what I would call a blunted point, okay, where it's, you've got like a squared off bit here. You want it to be a complete point like that. Yeah, and you want this edge here to line up with this edge here. Okay, which is easier done for me when it's this way around. So don't worry if it's not bob on accurate, but as close as near as damn it. Okay, so you do that, yeah, and once you've done that, you're going to leave this fold this time, but you're going to fold this in again, okay? But before you do that, guess what? You're going to make another corner. So you're going to fold this up again, okay? And this time you should have a nice guide of this line will then continue down. If my fingers look shiny, by the way, it's because I've been using mica, and I've got a bit of mica on me. So just put that in there, put a nice crease in it. The only reason why I say put a nice crease in it, it just makes it easier for you to fold, really. So get your bone folder out if you want to. Yeah, and then do the same here. So we're going to fold this corner up to meet this intersection here. Yeah, and then just put a fold in there. And just crease off that fold, make it nice and easy. And then you're going to, so you've got these bits that are folded up now, you're going to flip it so that you can fold this edge up again. Okay, so this is becoming, they might not line up so much now because you've got the thickness of the paper that's stopping it from happening, but you know, you're going to try and line it up so that so you're encompassing this piece of paper, this part of this paper. Okay, and fold it up again. Okay, so once you've got that, okay, what you're now going to do is you're going to now make a triangle at this end. So leave this bit so you'll have a U of, like a pocket of U paper. Okay, and now you're going to fold this corner into this line to create a point here along this fold. So remember this fold line that we created, you're going to put a point in there. Yeah, and then you're going to do the other side. So put a point in here. Don't worry, again, like I say, if it doesn't line up, it's just the way things have happened. It'll look just as fantastic. And then what you're going to do is you're going to fold this over, and you're going to see how much of this sticks out over this line, and then you're going to fold that little bit over just so that it'll tuck in, but you don't lose the depth. So you don't want to fold it too far down, and so it's only just catching here because it'll just come apart. Okay, so then we've done that. I'm going to fold it over, and we're going to bend it round and tuck it underneath. Okay, and there we go. We've made our little envelope. Okay, so when you become well practiced at doing this, you can do it without putting the score lines in the middle. But it's just there as a nice little guide for you, and it helps you to fold on. Okay, so if you're not happy about having that in there, then you know, learn to do it without. So let's make another one, and we'll try and do it without. So without folding in half. Okay, we're going to fold this bit up. It's harder for you to judge how far. Okay, so as long as you are at least a fifth of the way in the paper, it will be fine. Okay, so we're going to put a line there, sorry, a fold there. Yeah, and then we're going to fold in this corner. Like that. And we're going to fold in this corner. Like that. Just put a crease in there. Yeah. Then we're going to fold this bit in. So using this line as our guide to where we're going to put the fold line. Fold that bit in. Yeah. And it should be kind of the similar sort of thickness to this bit here. And then you're going to fold this line in. And again, try and get it fairly square. What you don't want is it just suddenly going off a taper. Yeah, so like that. Yeah. Then we're going to fold this corner up again. That's folded up. Yeah, so we're continuing that line down. And we're going to do the same with this one. Folding this up to here. Putting a line in there. Yeah, and then we're going to turn it around and fold this bit in. Yeah, and then we're going to turn it around and fold this bit in. Yeah, now we're at that point where we can fold these into a point. Okay, so this is the point, haha. This is the part at which it's harder to fold these because you don't have a center line to fold to. So the best thing to do is fold them together and try and then line these edges up, and that should be then roughly the middle. Yeah, do that there, and do that, put a line in there. So just crease those lines, just to make it easier to, when you unfold it, it just makes it easier to fold it back up again if you do put the lines back in. Yeah. So now fold this over on this line, and it doesn't matter if you have gaps there, that's absolutely fine, and it's quite normal. But now you just need to see, okay, I've got this much overhang, so you could bend it back first, so you know, well, I want that much gap with that between the end of here and the beginning of that paper. And now you can flip it over. So use that same crease to fold it back the other way. There you go, like that. And then we're just going to tuck that bit into there. Okay, so there we go. We've made our envelope. So they will vary depending on how thick you make those initial lines, those initial folds. But you get a nice envelope. And so then what did I do is, so this time I didn't decorate the inside, but let's do a bit of decoration on the inside, just kind of make it look a bit more old and it's been around a while. Okay, so I might put, try not to tear it, Dave, that's usually a good thing to do. So I should have somewhere over the rainbow, please don't sing. Somewhere there is some ink that is avoiding me. Oh, where the hell is the ink? I don't know. Just bear with me a moment, folks. The singing has to stop, has to be curtailed while I actually find the thing that I was looking for. Distress stains, I think I put it away. So I've got a blue distress stain in a dauber, which I think looks really good, inky, as an ink, like almost like, you know, a blotted ink, a blodge of it. Oh, I don't know what I'm talking about. Please don't listen to me. A splodge of ink. Oh, there you go. Chipped sapphire it is, and it's a darker coloured one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of this, and I'm going to blob it. Okay, so this bit here is your front bit. Okay, the bit that you'll see, and I'm just going to splat a couple of ink splats on it, like it's been, you know, like your ink, your fountain pen, not fountain pen, your quill has splattered. Okay, so now I'm just going to dry that off. Because it's easier to work with dry paper than it is to work with wet paper. So sorry, if you can hear the dog in the background, I'm really sorry. He's just having a bit of a turn. I think there's somebody outside. I think actually I can hear people pulling up, and there's a big field just across the road from me, and they've marked it out for football. And when I talk about football, I mean soccer, because we're in the UK and that's what they play here. So they don't play American football. I don't understand why it's called American football when it never actually, you know, gets kicked. So I say never. I don't know much about American football. It might get kicked. I don't know. Anyway, so that's on there. Okay, so I've put a few splodges on there. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to be visited by mein Hund. Mein Hund ist nein klug. I don't know what stupid is. So like, not smart. My dog is not smart. Mein Hund ist sehr schön, though. So, my dog is very beautiful. And mein Hund ist sehr smelly. Because I don't know what smelly is. So, you smell. You're going to have a bath soon. Smelly boy. Right, okay. You go, because I'm still doing this. Okay, so, I've had a fuss of him. Apologies while I did that. So now these are some of stamps that I've made myself. So these are, a lot of you have heard me talk about making these. This is just some the sponge out of the bottom of some a fruit tray. I think there were some raspberries that came with this, and it's just great for making, see, just random kind of marky things. Just puts a little bit of interest into your page, and you can put some other colours on it, obviously. I want to use this on this bit. Dot it around. This is not as bright colour, this colour, it's a bit more gingery, and it's impossible to see actually. I don't know what's going on. Oh, there you go. Okay, so that's that. So, and we'll put some other lines on it too. Let's get some of these. Just, we're making it look a little bit old is all we're trying to do. Yeah, we're not looking for like a crisp print. We're just looking for a bit of age to it. And then this is one. This is a good one for making it aged. Just put some random squiggly lines on it, really. Okay, so that's the inside. Okay, we're going to fold this back up again. So fold it there, fold it in the corners, right angles, fold it over here. Oh, sorry, let's move these out of the way. So fold the triangles up, fold the sides in. Yeah, fold the triangles up again, fold the sides in. Once we fold the sides in, that becomes the little point bit like you're making a paper aeroplane. That flips over at the top, and then that's going to go into there. So again, we're going to now do something on the outside and in the folded way, because like it's been through the post and it's had a bit of a time in the post, you know, that kind of, it's seen some action in the post. I do have some stamp like washi tape things which you can put on. I think though this time, which is what I used last time, I think though this time what I'm actually going to use is I'm going to use the I'm going to use just one of my postage stamps that I've got. So let's put the lid back on that, otherwise it's going to go horribly wrong, isn't it, Dave? So what we're going to use, what colour should we have? A red one. Should we have Queenie? Maybe her. Or we could have one of these, one of the Czechoslovakian ones. I know, like, Queen Elizabeth is, you know, old, but I don't think she predates an envelope. Whereas if I use something that we don't know, I mean, you know, this fellow probably doesn't predate an envelope either, but I don't know who he is, so it doesn't, in my head it's like, no, can't do that. Quite like the orange ones. I just don't think he stands out so much now. So, you see, this is the thing. I can get too invested in my craft. You have to be... No, that looks too modern. I always like... I like, you know... people heads to be on them, because I just think they look more. I think I might have him on there actually. He's got a look of a you know, like a Victorian type of look to him, so I think I might go with that one. Blue ones are nice, but I don't think I've got many older looking ones. Anyway, well, it's like, you know, we don't want to be here for 5 hours just picking a stamp, Dave. So, okay, so we've got that. We've got that stamp. We're now going to stick the stamp on. Oh, it looks like it's unlicked. I don't think I want to lick it though. Don't know where it's been. Oh, things are all happening off camera. So just going to stick the back of there, put that on there, give it a fighting chance with a bit of a slight straightness to it. Okay, so so we've got that. So now we want to add a look of a wavy line, you know, like you put wavy lines, well, it was often wavy lines through franking. So I'm just going to put that on there, and then it's probably a bit too far in actually. Put it on my non-stick mat, and then we're just going to, hopefully I'll get a bit of a random, yeah, there we go, perfect, a random finish to it. So I like that for that. It gives me more random than the stamp would, you know, like a proper stamp. Okay, so now we just want to make it look a bit like it's been through the wars. Just a few of these dabbed all over the place, across the back as well. I do like this for the randomness of it. Yeah, so that. And where's my other one? My other favourite one. So this is my other favourite. Just gonna, great for looking like it's been trodden on type thing. Okay, so I will go over again with some more of that in a second. Now what I want to do is I want to put, it looks like it's got an address on. Now I wouldn't say I was famous for it, but I'm known for not being able to write. I'm dyslexic and my writing is terrible. So this is my cheat. So this, I mean, like, don't think you can get this anymore. I think this is a Tim Holtz one. And all I do is I just tear a bit out of script and just try and get a few lines. You can't get it like this, but you can still get it. I think it comes in a tube like this now. So this is Tim Holtz tissue paper. It's called Collage Paper now, or something of that ilk. So, and then what I do is I just tear it down to look like an address. So you can't read what this says, so luckily, so I just tear it so you know you have that undulation of lines being some longer than and shorter than others. So tear this bit out as well, tear that bit. So we'll go to about there. Then the next line we can have a bit longer. We can go to there. The bottom line we can have a bit shorter. So we go to there. So we've got something that looks a little bit like it's, you know, somebody's written an address and not being able to write. That's the way that I do it. That's the way you do it. Naughty, naughty, naughty. Sorry, I'm not Punch and Judy. Or I'm not Punch. Is it Punch? Punch is the male, isn't it? Yeah. I'm not Punch or Judy, to be fair. So, some of you will have no idea what I'm talking about. So, well, welcome to my world. I don't know what I'm talking about half the time anyway. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to paste this on. So this is just some of my watered down Mod Podge that I use for when I'm doing decoupaging with napkins. I'm going to use this brush. This isn't the softest brush. It is a rescued brush. It was a lovely soft brush until I used it for Mod Podge and then forgot to actually put it back in any water. So it dried up, and luckily I've managed to be able to revive it. So stick that onto there. Go over it and just move it out a bit so it adheres. And then for me that looks, you know, like it could be an address. You know, for you it might not. If you want to get more precise and actually go in there and write an address on it, then you do you. That's great. So I'm just going to go over it a little bit with my my ink. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to think what I was talking about. That. So my ink. Okay, so, and then the next thing we're going to do is we're now going to get all exciting, and we're going to make the seal that goes on the back. Ow, ow, ow. Oh, no, not that kind of seal, Dave. I'm not a performing seal. Okay, so in comes, so I used to use these. So these style of wax and seals, which I can't get out, where you light it and you drip it until it, I mean, they smoke a lot. They're on about 50 a day. No, they smoke a lot, and I'm notorious for being a bit, not a bit accident prone, and so Brian bought me this because we thought this was the safer option. So this is a little candle. It's got a little candle you can't see here, but it's got a little candle there that's just fallen out. Yeah, that sits in the bottom. It's got a hole, and it's got a little crucible that sits with it, and it's all perfect. And it means when it gets hot, I can move it without touching it, and it's all perfect for me. So this is what we're going to do: is we're going to make another little seal to go on the back. Ow, ow, ow. No, not that sort of seal. So these are my wax melts. Now you can still use these type. Okay, you can snap bits off and, like, you know, pop it in there, or you can just use the pellets that come with it, because this all came together. So I think I'm going to go for, I'm going to go for these. So this kind of a yellowy, goldy colour. I'm going to put a few of these in, and notice I haven't lit the crucible yet because I haven't. So stop pressurizing me. No, I'm going to light the crucible now. Okay, so I have a long neck lighter, not a long neck goose. I feel real like a long neck goose. There we go. So that's lit, and now what we do is we stick the crucible on there, and we wait for it to melt. So I've got a couple of wax stamps, one of which is a bee, and that's because I've borrowed it from Brian, and he's got one of my other ones. I did have two anyway, but this is a bee, and this one is a compass. Okay, so on this one, I did it with a compass. So let's fold this back up while I'm waiting for those to melt. Try not to get this into the candle, Dave. Fold them into the corners, fold that over there, fold those into the corners, fold those over there, try not to burn it, fold that over, that over there, and that in there. Okay, so that's all folded back up again, and I just used the compass one, and then put some mica over the top of it to highlight the pattern on there. As you can see, it does smoke a little bit, but it's trying to give up. There we go. So I think the reason why it's smoking mostly is because the stuff that dribbles out underneath the crucible. Just be careful. It is still hot. It is still, naked flames, and it can still burn you. Burns. So it'll still frighten you to death. And then all I do is I use something just it's there. Don't lean over the candle, Dave. I just get a bent paper clip, and I just use it to kind of stir the wax. It's a bit like when you melt chocolate, it's better if you just give it a bit of a stir. So this is going to pick up some of the red that was already in there. You can clean the crucible out, but I don't. I just kind of let it pick up all of the previous colours. If you want a true colour, though, you have to clean it out. So we'll have a bit more of a kind of an orangey look. So, it's not the colour I was going to go with, but I don't mind. It'll be nice. It'll be right. It'll be right. So, and then this is a non-stick mat, so this is a silicone mat, which is perfect for when you can pour it onto here. That way then, if you pour it onto here, it'll stick both sides, and then you won't be able to open it. It'll tear. Okay, so what I do is I make them separately and I glue them on. So I've got more control that way. So we're just going to stir this bit up. Like I say, remember this is still hot. This is molten wax. And it's actually hotter than molten wax. So like whereas wax you don't mind getting on your fingers, this stuff you don't want to get on your fingers because it must have plastic in it because they're very bendable. They're not wax. Wax seals snap when you bend them. These are not wax. These are pliable. So I believe they're probably molten plastic. So just be careful. And it wouldn't surprise me because that's the reason why it's so the smoke is so black when you burn those the candle style ones. So I'm just going to give this a bit more of a mix so that it's all blended in together. So there we go. And then what you do is you just pour a little bit on your mat until you have a nice kind of like satisfying pile of it. And then you don't press it in, you just rest it on. And that's it. So you just put your wax seal on top of it and let its own weight do the pressing. If you press right in, you actually make the wax underneath too thin, and you really, you can't see any definition. So you just do that, and then you leave it to cool down. Okay, so it takes a little bit longer because it's not wax, it's plasticky wax. So I'm going to put some white in here because I've not used the white, and I don't know what it might turn out quite nice. It might, make this orangey colour less vivid. So I've only put 3 in this time because there is already some wax in there. So we're just going to let those melt down now while we're waiting for that one to set. So like I say, just be very careful. This is not something to kind of just get giddy about, and if you are stirring it, again remember, no flicking. Don't using a metal thing probably isn't the best thing, but I didn't have anything else to hand. So the white one doesn't look like it has any. A lot of them have like a mica running through them, so the white one doesn't seem to have that of its own, but there's already mica in the crucible from the last lot. So I'm just giving it a stir. I'm not whisking it. It's alright, it doesn't need to be whisked. My mouth is very dry and I have no water left. So I'm going to get to the end of this video and then I'm going to go and drink a well dry, I think. So get this done. So interesting colour. That's like First World War bandage colour. So I'm just going to pour this out onto the mat. You see what I mean? It's quite thick. So I really don't think that is just wax. I think that's definitely got some kind of a like plastic in it. So I'm just heating it back up again because it helps the wax to pour out. Well, the wax, keep calling it wax, and I don't even know whether it is. I'm sure it says on the packet, but I don't know. So there's probably not enough on there, but we'll just drop that into it. Okay, that's fine. And then any bits that you find, if you didn't like it, you can just remelt it. It doesn't matter. It's not going to be a problem. You can remelt them. You can keep remelting them. But yeah, so you just just be careful about all the stuff that dribbles down the bottom of it. Lots of people, the purists would probably clean all of this, but I clearly don't. And then anything that you have left in your crucible, you either leave in your crucible, or you heat it back up again like I'm doing now, and then you tip it out. And the other thing to do is to tip your crucible upside down, and then that will all just drain out, and anything left in there, you kind of heat the bottom of it up while it's up. I'll show you in a minute while it's upside down. Otherwise it gets complicated me trying to show you, explain it. So you've heated it up, and then what I do is I just flip it over, and then you just heat the bottom of it like this, and that helps the stuff on the walls and the bottom to slide off. And remember, the hottest point of a flame is just at the tip, not the tip of the yellow bit, but the tip of the blue bit. So I learnt that in chemistry, so I did learn something clearly. So even though they thought I hadn't, even though they thought I wasn't paying attention and I should talk less. So there we go. That's hopefully got some of that out. Not all of it, but I'll leave it to drain while we're doing this. Okay, so just blowing that candle out. I'm just going to move that crucible out of the way. So let's take this one off now. So it'll probably peel off the mat first, which it did. Yeah. But then it will peel off here, and there you go. So that's the first one that we did. That's the one that's going to go on the back of that envelope, and then this is the second one we did, which this came off nice and easily, and I think it might just need a little coaxing from the mat. So we've got like a pinky colour to it, and that's all right. That's nice. I'll use that in some sort of craft, but they are very bendy, so they're definitely more molten plastic. So just be aware of that. I know I sound like I'm teaching you to suck eggs, but I just want you to be aware. So learn from my mistakes, because I tell you now, I got that on my skin, and that is ouchy, ouchy, ouchness. So on the back, what I did was I flipped it over, and now I'm going to put this, and I'm going to stick it to this lip so that it looks like it's attached there, but it isn't. You can just open it up. Okay, so, and I just used some 3-in-1 glue for it. So just, before we do that, let's just highlight it with a bit of, so this is some mica. I think it's, sorry, I'll tell you what it's called. It's called Scarab Beetle, and it's some mica, some luster powder, and all you do is a tiniest dab. This stuff will last you forever because it's the tiniest dab, and then you're just going to go over all of the raised areas. Honestly, you don't need a lot. That dab of a finger is more than enough. Okay, you're just going to go around catching all of those highlighted bits, and then I just put a little bit around the raised edge, and that's just because, you know, it would have got a bit dirty because it's raised, so it'll have caught more surfaces, etc. So, and then we're going to stick that on there. So to do that, we'll use our 3-in-1. So if you pick it up and you kind of like put your fingers where the middle center point is, and just so where my index finger is, that's kind of where the center of that B is. So I'm going to just stay this side of that, and I'm going to stay about 0.5 centimeter away from there. I'm just going to put a little bit on there, give it a bit of a squidge with your finger, and the reason for that is it just stops it all squidging out when you put it down here. You put that on there, stick it down, and then hopefully you haven't put so much on that it squeezes out and sticks to that. Otherwise, then you might as well have just put the wax seal on the envelope. So there we go. So that will just wait for that to kind of dry. Put those out of the way. Okay, this crucible thing will be hot, so just be careful if you are moving it around. Use the wooden bits for it. We're going to move that out of the way because we don't need that. We're going to move this out of the way because we don't need that either. Okay, move the lighter. So there we go. So that's what we've got. So we've got this kind of envelope-y type thing that just opens out into a nice place, journaling place that you can put in your journal. So I'm going to put mine in my, it opens up. I just really like the way it opens up, and it just looks really nice, and it looks like it could be old. So you know me, I like my things to look like they've seen some, they could tell some stories basically. So fold that in, fold those over, that over the top, and that goes tucky tuck into there. So I think that is going to feature in my latest journal. So the one that I've been doing the series on. So this one, I think I've just pulled the bottle out of that. I did, felt it go. And so I think this is going to tuck into here in some way. So you can see I've used that seal there. In actual fact, that's the same as this seal. It was just what was left in the crucible. So I'm going to tuck it into here in some way. I think it's probably going to have its own pocket now, because I've filled these up with other things. But because of the thinness of that envelope, it all just goes in there nicely. In fact, you could have both of those in there. That look like somebody's been corresponding, doesn't it? So put those both in there like that. There you go. So, and that's it. So I hope you liked that. I hope you might give that a go. It's so easy to do, and literally all you need is a piece of paper. You can turn it into whatever you want to. You could even put your secret notes in, and you can I don't know whether you could send it through the post like that. Maybe you can. I don't know. I'm sure if it's well sealed, you can. I don't even know whether you can send wax seals through the post anymore. I don't know whether they catch on the machinery. Anyway, right, before my brain starts overthinking everything, that's it. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you really I hope you really enjoyed it. No, I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos, more notifications. Unless you click the bell icon, you won't be notified when I bring out a new video. So like click that notification. I try to upload at least once a week. It's usually 2 times a week, but I've been doing my kitchen, and if you watch the video that should have been uploaded before this, which was part of my live for Facebook, you'll see the images of the transformation of my kitchen. It's only a small kitchen, but I've done it all myself. Well, myself and my friend Andy. My friend Brian. I don't know why I said Andy. So anyway, that's thrown me. So you all have a lovely afternoon, morning, evening, or whatever time it is with you. Don't forget, my name is Dash of Dave, and I love you all without exception, until you give me a reason not to. So don't give me a reason not to. So you all have a lovely afternoon, or morning, or evening, or whatever time it is with you, and I will see you all in the next video. Lots of love, mwah, 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 and lots of big crafty hugs, and we'll see you all soon. Take care. Bye. Bye, bye, bye.